Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is the big day. We're going to do the final assembly and the big reveal of the Star Trek 1/1000 scale USS Reliant from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, everybody, we are back and at the final stages of this build-up. So today we will put this all together and show you the final product. Now, just a couple of quick notes before I continue putting this together. This particular kit, as mentioned before, is a Snap-it. It is a Snap-it kit. And so it's meant to be put together without any type of glue, cement. However, if you are going to do this, you will, in my opinion, you will need cement, you will need some glue, because there are seams and areas around the nacelle, or the saucer, and the nacelles, and even on this top housing here, that even with the Snap-it method, they stay open. And for those of you who really need to have a seamless model, you're going to need putty as well, because some of those seams don't really close all the way specifically. And keep in mind, I didn't use putty, and I did use glue, but I didn't care about some of the seams. This is such a small scale model that I was like, well, this will probably be highlighted. The decals and the Aztecing will highlight everything else and kind of take your eye away from the seam. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Right back here, there are seams that, are kind of showing on the top of the nacelle. Right here. They're pretty much closed, but you can still see a line right here. This area right here is actually, the seam is more prominent, but it's being covered up by a decal, and the decal is being protected with the clear coat. So here is where the seam is a lot more prominent, right here in this area. That is actually a seam that you can see with your eye. Some other areas that the seams are very, very prominent right here in this on this tip here. You can definitely see that open. I'm not gonna close that up. Even with squeezing this together, it stayed open, and this is where you'd want to use a lot of putty and paint and all that to kind of close that up. So be aware of that. Seams here and here are being covered up by decals. They're not too bad. I did use some super glue. I used some cement glue, some plastic model glue here to close these up. And then I put the decals over them. Same thing in the front. These are decals. They're not the seam, they're decals. So little corners here. Some of the seams are showing right here in the corner. So you definitely want to keep that in mind with this model. There are lots of decals, and they're very, very small, and they can easily tear, and it is very frustrating to put these little decals on this small of a ship. I will tell you right now, the decals that gave me the worst problems are the stripes around this area here. There was another set of decals that I gave up on. Here's some decals here that were put on here and here, right here. There's a decal around that. These are decals, obviously. Yeah, so some of these decals, I just were so small. I'm going to tell you right now, what right behind here is a decal for the BC deck port entry, and that thing came off on me and broke after it dried. So this was really frustrating. I'm not going to put a decal back on that. I'm not going to bother. I think I'm done with this particular ship, but let's put it together and let's see what the final outcome is. Now, it is very shiny, as you can tell, because I have the gloss clear coat on that to kind of help cover up the decals. You can't tell the difference between the gloss clear coat and the clear decals. That's the whole point of that. I'm going to put this together, and then we'll spray this with a matte clear coat so that the gloss bring the gloss down. But overall, I'm really happy with the look. I'm happy with the Aztec painting on this that I did earlier. I'm happy with the way the decals that did stay on look. Oh, by the way, decal number 25 that said Reliant, I found where that belongs. I looked up a build for a larger Reliant ship, and it belongs right back there. That says Reliant right there, and it's very, very small. That's decal number 25. Keep that one in mind. There are a few other decals that I did not put on. Number 16, never found where this one goes. So, you know, that particular decal is not on the ship. And number 17 is a stripe. And this one I did not put on the ship at all. So just keep that in mind. You may, if you build this, and you're going to have decals that you're not going to put on the ship. So, all right, so let's go ahead and start the build. Here we go. Now these, FYI, I pre-prepared them, so I sanded them just a little bit. I sanded some of the paint off of this area, and let's go ahead and do this. Okay, everybody. I apologize for having to do a lot of this off camera, but wow, it took a lot of finagling to get some of this stuff done. Specifically, the hardest part of this whole thing were these little phaser turret ports here that go into. Let me kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So these little pieces here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that actually hold the top piece together to the pylons. Boy, those were really, really tough to get on. Now, in retrospect, you know, I painted a lot of this before putting it all together. So I had to take the end, you know, the piece that connects the plastic to plastic, and I had to use some tools, some sanding tools, to kind of go into the little back part of it and kind of shave off a lot of the paint, shave off a lot of the plastic as well to make it fit onto the ports. I also had to take a flat piece, a flat, you know, tool here and kind of shave around these areas here where they connected. Once I shaved it down, it actually went in a lot easier. I was able to actually do it, and I went ahead and used some Tamiya extra thin cement. It's like water, and once the connection was in, all you do is kind of drop a few of these drops into the little crevices there, and they'll sink in and dry and make sure that the plastic is welded together. So that was really, really hard. Of course, like I said earlier, the other really hard piece was getting the pylon connected to the main saucer section here. Tough, just tough to get in there. Again, I think I ultimately did it by shaving some of the paint and off the plastic, and shaving down the holes a little bit. And then, like I said earlier, you want to go straight in, not angle it. It's still tough, but you go straight in. Okay, all that being said, we now have a finished ship that all it needs to happen is matte clear coat on it. So overall, the look of the ship, I'm very, very happy with. Let me kind of show you what I'm talking about. So this is a close-up of everything here. It's still very glossy because, like I said, this is a clear coat gloss that's on everything right now. And so what I need to do next is I need to paint this whole thing with matte clear coat so it won't be so glossy. But this is the way you mask all the markings and all the decals and make them look painted on. I'm really, really happy with the way this looks overall, actually. I think this is wonderful, and it's going to be a nice little addition to my 1/1000 scale collection. I've got the USS Enterprise A, and now I have the Reliant, and I'm really, really, really happy about that. So that being said, thanks again so much for your constant viewership, your subscribing, your liking the video. I appreciate it. So many of you have done that. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. All right, until the next video, I'm going to leave you with some pictures of the finished product. Thanks again, my friends, and we'll see you soon.